So this morning we had the Q2 GDP reading, which showed that the US economy grew by 3%. Take a listen.
Just a few seconds away from that advanced second quarter GDP number. Futures are higher ahead of that, with the Dow futures up by about 25 points, S&P futures up by 7, the NASDAQ indicated up by just over 40 points. Rick Santelli is standing by at the CME in Chicago. And Rick, take it away.
Yes, these are the advanced, of course, so they will be modified. But we are expecting a number around 2.5%. Last quarter, you do realize, was down 0.5%. That was the weakest quarter since first quarter of 22. And they're out up 3%, up 3%. Better than expected. That would be the highest level since the third quarter of 24 when it was up 3.1%. On the consumption side, up 1.4, very close to estimates. Up 1.4 would be the best since the last quarter of 24. And I do want to point out, if you look at the consumption numbers for last quarter, up 0.5%, that is really weak. As a matter of fact, that goes in comps to the worst, darkest days of COVID when it was down 30%. However, I wanted to know, outside of COVID, when was the last time we saw consumption that low? You're going back to June of 2011, just as a footnote. On the pricing index side, less than expected. We're looking for a number over 2%. This number is at 2%. 2% would be the lowest pricing index number read going back to the third quarter of 24 when it was 1.9%. And finally, the core personal consumption expenditure price index, that's a quarter over quarter number, expected to be around 2.3, comes in a little heavy. This one's a little heavy at 2.5. 2.5 would be the highest since the last quarter of 24 when it was 2.6. So very good news all in all, especially considering that Liberation April 2nd falls in this quarter, and it was definitely better than expected. Now, does that mean there can't be some payback in the quarters ahead? Possibly, but nobody ever knows what the quarters ahead are. That's called risk. Risk is in the markets no matter what. Uncertainty may be higher, but risk is always present. Interest rates have moved up a little bit. So we're up about 1.5 basis points on a 10. We're up 2 basis points on a 2-year as we await the Fed meeting and the quarterly funding announcement, which may be moving the markets more. And I don't have insight into those numbers, but I'm sure a great panel at CNBC will. Joe, Becky, back to you.
Now, today, after markets close, Meta, Microsoft, Hood, Qualcomm, and ARM Holdings will be reporting their Q2 earnings. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at some key support and resistance levels to watch on those stocks. Starting with ticker symbol ARM, ARM Holdings. So current support for ARM is going to be at 161. If the stock falls beneath that level, then look for a 9% pullback to 149. And if that level breaks, then look for a further pullback to 143. Now, above current support, you have resistance at 167, 173, and at 184. If ARM can get above 167, then I want you guys to look for a run to 173. And if it can get above that level and stay above it, then look for a run to 184, which from current price would be an increase of over 11%. Overall, to the upside, my target for ARM Holdings is going to be at 208. Let's now take a look at ticker symbol QCOM, Qualcomm. So as you guys can see, the stock is currently running into resistance at 163. If Qualcomm cannot get above 163, then I want you guys to look for a pullback to 154. And if that level breaks, then we're looking at a pullback to 148. Now, above current resistance, if the stock can get above 163, then I want you guys to look for a run to 175, which from current price would be an increase of over 9%. Now, overall to the upside, I'm looking for Qualcomm to get back to 188. Now let's take a look at Robinhood, ticker symbol HOOD. So from recent lows, the stock is up over 260%. So currently Robinhood stock is inside of a bear flag running into resistance at 107. If the stock cannot get above this level, then look for a pullback to $96. And if that level breaks, then we're looking at a pullback to $86 per share. Now, if Robinhood can get above resistance at 107, then we can potentially see a run to 113 and to 118. Next, we have Microsoft, ticker symbol MSFT. So currently Microsoft is running into resistance at 515. If the stock cannot get above this level, then I want you guys to look for a pullback to $500 per share. And if that level breaks, then look for a further pullback to 487, which from current price would be a decline of over 4%. Now, based on the technicals, the upside is quite limited for Microsoft stock, but if it could break above 515, and I want you guys to look for a 2% run to 523. Now, lastly, let's take a look at ticker symbol META, Meta Platforms. So current support for Meta is at 697. If the stock falls below that level, then look for a pullback to 676. And if 676 get broken, then we're looking at a pullback to 641, which from current price would be a decline of over 8%. Now, in terms of chart pattern, Meta stock is currently inside of a bull flag, which means if the stock could stay above 697, then I want you guys to look for a run to 749. From current price, that's an increase of over 7%. Overall, to the upside, I got a price target for Meta stock at 824. With that said, if you guys like this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up and let's get this video out to more viewers. Also, if you're currently watching and you're not yet subscribed, do consider subscribing. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.